All right, BB, so now we're going to be moving into Virgos. What y'all need to hear for January? Okay. All right. Man, there have been 4 cards for every single sign just about. So we have healing, pause, forgive, dreams. All right, my loves. Virgo. So what January 2022 has in store for you, what you need to know and be aware of is that this is going to be a time for you to process, okay? There is this feeling in the body that like there's been a lot of like go or urgency or just like a lot of action, right? Like there's been like a steady pace of like seeing shit happen, seeing things happen, seeing things move, things progress, and like just steady pace, right? Like that's just what they keep showing. They keep showing like a train, and it's like, okay, it's going along, and it's like, but now at a certain point we need to stop. Like we need to get to a point. They're like, we need to get to the station and we need to have a moment to pause, to let out passengers, and to refill the coal, refuel the engine. And so for January, they want you to literally pause. Okay, they want you to pause. Or, you know, if we look at healing, it's not just about that this is what this month is going to be for you, that this is what we need to focus on this month. It's actually, we need to pause to reflect on how you've grown, right? We need to pause and reflect on what's shifted. How have you changed? How have you expanded? How have you contracted? You know, healing isn't always like, I've expanded, I've grown. Sometimes healing is like, I was resistant. I fought against what was trying to shift. I was like, nope. Or like I dragged myself through this process. Let's reflect on that. How have we received and also rejected phases within this journey of life, specifically around your own healing experiences and how you have, they keep saying grown and expanded, grown and changed, okay? Because the change that you've endured, not just like this recent, like the month of December, but they're talking about like the changes that you've moved through the last 2 years are significant, and all of it is aligned, all of it is for a reason, and all of this is coming up to this point, it's leading up to this point, and it's specific that you begin this year with the intention of reflection on how you've grown, not just focusing on, okay, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? What's the next goal? Like the to-do list, right? Let's set the to-do list aside and like, let's look at all the stuff that you've checked off, right? And the reason why we do this is so that we can breathe into the body. We can breathe into our mental, emotional, physical bodies so that we can witness all that has taken place. And then that way we can also look at what has yet to take place, or maybe things that fell through or didn't happen as you would have hoped or would have liked, but we can still appreciate them, and we can loosen the reins of expectation, self-expectation, and criticism, and like they're saying there's nothing more beautiful than the determination and the will of a Virgo, but it can also be a fault. And I say that with nothing but love and respect, but they want you to use that that will to now shift from the to-do list to the how can I celebrate myself so that I can continue to pursue and expand upon your goals for 2022 and the rest of your life. Because when we do that self-reflection, they're saying that you might see some areas in which you can be like, whoa, let me actually tweak this dream, this vision for myself, because now that I see the areas in which I came from or expanded from and fought against, they're saying you can make it, they're showing you like pulling, it's funny because they're showing like an image of like what would be representative of Virgo, and it's like this, it's a horseshoe, it's like a lucky horseshoe, and they're showing like the lucky, it's very cartoony, and they have like little hands with like Mickey Mouse gloves, it's funny. And where you currently are, they're showing a red balloon, and the string to the red balloon is quite long, and we're like pulling it. The balloon is representative of our dreams, goals, desires. But when we do the self-reflection, that string to that balloon becomes much shorter, and then all we have to do is single-handedly tug, or pull into rather than tug. Hopefully that makes sense. So this month of January for you, reflect, and give yourself permission to breathe. Give yourself permission to step away from expectation and the to-do list and look at how you've grown, specifically the last 2 years. Because 2022 for you, you're gonna see it all kind of, I don't want to say all coming together, but it'll start to like, the bigger picture will start to like zoom out and start to see the full screen. All right, now we're gonna move into Scorpio. Whoop. All right, so we've got, actually let me do another good shuffle here. What does January 2022 have in store for you beautiful BBs? You might hear that little choking sound. If you do, that's my sweet little Stella. She is a almost 14-year-old full of sass pug. So thank you for witnessing her and embracing her. All right, Scorpios, we have duality, hidden messages, fear, and cycles. Okay, so January for you is gonna, again, be about facing aspects or elements of ourselves, versions of ourselves that we have once seen before. So give me just a moment, they're speaking. Emotions are complex. Feelings are complex. The way that we show up for ourselves can be complex because, how do I phrase this? I'm going to try to simplify it. Okay, so the month of January, we want to be sure that we are really connected with ourselves, i.e. grounded into our bodies, and paying attention to how we show up in a situation. So are we going to respond or react? Okay, now this doesn't necessarily mean it has to do with like specifically another individual. This applies to any relationship, person, place, or thing. So whether it be a conversation, whether it be a result of something, or whether it be the progression of you know, a relationship with any person, place, or thing, we may find ourselves feeling doubtful or feeling fear about the next step. And so what they want you to do is to understand that your feelings are valid, but they are not always fact. And if you find yourself flowing within the, you know, river of this isn't going to happen, I'm like, the egoic mind is leading and like chattering of, you know, I'm not enough, I'm going to fail, this thing isn't good enough, no one loves this, blah, blah, blah. Valid feelings. But remember that, again, as complex living people who experience emotions, our emotions they're not linear, okay? We experience a spectrum of emotions, and they have their own cycles. Each of us have our own cycles, right? Like, depending on you and your specific birth chart and the cosmic forecast of that time and of that specific day, or where you are within this, you know, time of year, month, whatever have you, may impact you. And it's different for each person. Some people are more sensitive than others. And there is, if you find yourself like, that none of that affects me, that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're less than. It just means that you experience things differently, and that's beautiful. But for you, Scorpio, this month, remember that your feelings are valid, but they are not always fact. And so if you find yourself fearing the next step, feeling doubtful, feeling cautious to take the leap, remember that there's always more than what we see at face value. And what we see at face value, maybe physically what we see, what we perceive, or visually or emotionally. And don't make any rash decisions. Try to remember that, okay, this is not factual, this is, you know, this is a feeling, and this too will pass. And what can be supportive for you is to connect with fear, to connect with whatever emotion is coming up within you that is specifically related to what most considers like negative emotions. I don't believe in negative emotions or positive emotions. Emotions are emotions, and they teach us, and we learn from them. It is what it is. And connect with it. you can have a relationship with an emotion, and what having a relationship with an emotion means is to understand how you move within it, understand how it speaks to you, how you relate to it, and how can we transmute that emotion into a feeling and energy that is supportive. Okay, so don't worry about where you're at. If something feels like it's not going out the way that you'd like, it may not end in the way that you would like it to end, or result in something that you would like for it to result in. However, it is not reflective of your value as a person, your strength, your creativity, your brilliance. Just remember it as a feeling, connect with it, love it, and keep pushing forward. All right, my dears. So now, I dropped a card. We're gonna move. Now we have Sagittarius. What do you BBs need to hear for the month of January 2022? Ooh, we got a lot of, okay, here we go. Okay, one more. We have secrets, protect, gratitude, communication, let it go. All right, Sagittarius BBs. January for you is going to be about a time of clear communication. Okay, I really want to talk. The reason why I want to talk about communication is because there is this feeling in the body that this month for you may be more rooted, or you may find yourself flowing with a reaction versus a response. Like, you know, I am choosing to react, being a little more fiery, right? Like really embracing that beautiful fiery energy that that is you. But we want to be mindful, because reaction, when we are reacting, may not always be rooted or grounded into a place of clarity within the mind and within our heart. We may be reacting from an emotion that is not particularly aligned or reflective of our true feelings in that point in time. Your feelings are valid, but we do need to communicate what it is that you are needing, what it is that you are fearful of, what it is that you are hoping for, and we need to release the ways in which we view ourselves and our roles in needing to, they're showing like a child who, they're saying needing to constrain. They're showing a child like with their favorite stuffed animal, right? And like they're squeezing their favorite stuffed animal so tight, and they're afraid to like put it down, to set it down somewhere, or to hand it over to someone, or even like loosen the grip because they're worried that someone's going to come and take it, or they're worried that someone's going to set it aside, or they're not going to be able to find it again. And so what this month invites you to do is to, rather than like hold the things that you love dearly, whether it be people, places, things, tight to your heart, even ideas, right? Like maybe perhaps it's an idea that you've yet to birth, or it's a dream that you have. You're like, I don't want to share this with anyone because I'm afraid that someone's going to take it, someone's going to judge me. We have to be present with that and actually look at it for what it is and say to ourselves, okay, why do I feel this reaction of scarcity, or excuse me, this reaction of like, of needing to constrain and hold on so tight? Is it actually that I'm experiencing scarcity and or a lack of trust, whether it be within myself or someone else? Because if you have a beautiful, brilliant idea or need, the people around you, there are people around you that want to support you, that want to uplift you. They may not know unless you communicate. And so we need to be able to feel comfortable in communicating our needs, expressing our needs, desires, hopes, and sharing that, because especially for those who like have ideas of things that they want to create, materialize in the world, they're saying that when you share them, you might find that like, oh shoot, there's someone that can actually help me bring this into fruition. So let's work on how can I release or shift my relationship to whatever my reaction is to said person, place, or thing. Hope that makes sense. All right, my loves. Now we're moving into Capricorn. Capricorn. What does January 2022 have in store for you? All right, let's see here. Ooh, there we go. So, keep dropping them. All right. We have changes, trust, vulnerability, protect. All right, my loves. January for you, Capricorns. Change, change, change. That's what it's about. This change has actually been taking place for some time. It's probably been taking place for like the last 4-6 months. So it started taking place, like we started seeing the beginnings of it in 2021, or at least the beginnings of it taking form, or like whether it be like internally within our mind, like ideas, to now in 2022, this month is about seeing it actually begin to materialize and take physical shape, whether it be within our time or like, you know, it's becoming something tangible. They want you to trust where you're at. They want you to trust what is shifting, what is changing within you and around you. And if you find yourself kind of moving within like scarcity, moving within doubt, open your heart to vulnerability and embracing what emotions are being stirred up within you, because they are not speaking to what is happening, i.e. if you're feeling doubt or if you're feeling like scarcity, that is not reflective of you are experiencing scarcity or going to experience scarcity. It's a mirror letting you know you are beautiful, you are opening yourself up to this change, and change is happening. That's why your body is reacting this way. What's going to be important for you, it's going to happen no matter what, whether you want it to happen or not. If you decide to like wait and you're like, no, I'm going to get out. It's too late. I love y'all, but no, it's too late. The way in which you can support yourself is to protect your energy, to protect how you spend your time, specifically to protect your energy by being mindful and present with where your focus goes, where your mind goes, the egoic mind. If you find yourself being more self-critical, being hard on yourself, and like negative self-talk, nip that, drop it, reshift it. So for every time you say, the cat just jumped on the table, every time you say something that is judgmental towards yourself, follow up with 3 things that that you love about yourself, because we need to reframe that. This too is also going to pass. It's not going to be the emotional side of it. Feels like it's going to be more of like with like the first two weeks of some of you maybe 3 weeks, but it feels like once we get through mid-January, we're going to feel like, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm loving this, I'm seeing it. Okay, I might not be exactly where I want to be, but I'm seeing the change, and I'm feeling how it is within my body. But trust where you are and trust who you are, because you get it done. So yeah, it might not be the way in which you're familiar or used to it being, but it's still going to get done because it's you. So trust it, trust it, trust it. All right, so next we have Aquarius. What does January have in store for you, my beautiful BBs? Okay. Ooh, one more. All right. Ooh, one more. Okay, so we have growth, sadness, abundance, portals, and forgive. All right, Aquarius. January. You're going to be moving through some feels. It feels more of like, what they're showing is like someone that's like totally prepared their garden, right? Like they've tended to the soil, they've they've got it, it's all set up and beautiful and ready. Like we even have the seeds, the veggies, plants, flowers, whatever you're wanting to plant, everything's set up and perfect, okay? We've spent time nurturing what we've wanted to shift, what we wanted to change, what we wanted to develop, and now we're at this point where we're ready to begin to not only plant the seeds, but like to yes, we're planting seeds because they're showing like a garden, but they're saying we're not only ready to plant the seeds, we're ready to alchemize, is what they're saying. We're ready to begin to alchemize the materialization of the desires that you've been hoping for. Now, we may find ourselves experiencing sadness or grief as we move through this month, okay, and as you move through this month, because with change, with shifts, it's natural to experience grief. It's natural to experience sadness, because you know, sometimes when one changes, we may lose relationships, we may find, like, we may grieve old versions of ourselves, and that's okay. Acknowledge that, embrace it, and trust it. But with the garden, like they were showing the sadness, or like we need to be sure that like whatever feels come up, don't be scared to think that like, oh, these are indicators that like I haven't fully healed, or there are things that I've ignored. No, it's just like, as you, like they're showing like leaves falling onto the soil of the garden that you've prepared. You don't need to like get rid of the leaves. They fertilize the soil. They continue to fertilize as they begin to decay, just like your sadness. It's not about getting rid of the sadness. It's about witnessing the sadness and understanding that it is speaking to you and showing and reminding you of who you are, where you've come from, what you've learned, and what you're needing. Now, abundance, be ready. Be ready to step into that portal of abundance. Be ready to step into that doorway. There are going to be opportunities for you this month to invite abundance in. And what we need to do to be able to, they're saying to be able to have it happen quickly, we need to let go. This time I am saying let go. Let go of any narratives or beliefs around feeling a way about being abundant. You are deserving abundant. If you feel a way because you feel like it's aligned with the capitalistic BS of I want money and my community is suffering, how can I want money? You can be wealthy and abundant and be able then to support your community, because as y'all know, community are the one, like, if we want to see changes within our world, it happens with community, it happens within our own communities, and that's how we see change. But if we have the resources and you have the ability to gain resources to not only support yourself, but now we can support the community, and it can be on that scale. And if that doesn't resonate with you, like your chosen family, your chosen loved ones, plain and simple, do not feel guilty for wanting what you want, okay? Because you're deserving of it, all right? Because even if you're like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna be me, I'm just gonna focus on me and want what I want, it's not in your nature to only focus on you. So you know you're gonna be still thinking about those that are around you. So don't stress about it. Be open to receiving what you want, right? It's like they're saying like, oh, I want this. This is what they're saying about Aquarius. It's like y'all are saying, I want X, Y, and Z. And then when they come to deliver, it's like ordering a pizza and they come to deliver and they're knocking on the door and you don't answer the door. You gotta answer the door. I'm an Aquarius, so that hit for me. All right. Now we're on to Pisces. Beautiful Pisces. What does January 2022 have in store for you, my loves? I'm loving 2022 right now. January feels like across the board, it's really going to be a lot about like self-revelation. Okay, so Pisces, we have communication, hidden messages, vision, forgive. All right, my loves. For you, they want you to take up space. Okay, they want you this month. They want you to hunker down within who you are. If you need to, like, they're showing you like a person actually like going into their home, shutting all the doors, shutting all the windows, drawing the blinds, curtains, and like turning off the phone, turning off everything, and really connecting with themselves of how am I feeling now, and what do I need, what do I want, what have I been limiting for myself. This month for you is going to be about self-reflections, introspection, and honest, like truly being honest with ourselves and seeing how we've been holding ourselves back. Seeing specifically about when it comes to our visions, our dreams of the life we wish to create. Like they're saying it's like, oh, we're reaching for something on the shelf. And it's, let's say it's like this, they're showing like a cup, like there's like this golden cup on the shelf, and you go to, that's the cup that you want, and you go to reach for it, and then there's like this pause, and I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, or I can't read, like that's out of my like my grasp, and so we grab the one that's like, you know, 2 shelves down because it's right there. That is a perception. With all due love and respect, that is a perception, is not a truth. And so this month, really do that. Really reflect on how have I been limiting myself when it comes to dreaming, creating the dream board for my life, when it comes to reaching for what I desire. And this isn't about shame. This isn't about self-judgment or criticism. This is about self-accountability so that we can create the freedom within our lives to live the lives that we desire. Because you're going to find that maybe something that you've been telling yourself isn't what you've wanted or desired is in fact what you've wanted and desired. And so now it's a time to do so then we can begin, right? If you follow like the Gregorian calendar, the year, we're going to begin the year, this month of January, with a clean slate or a clear foundation, if you will, to take the next steps to get what it is that you truly want. All right, my loves. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. I appreciate you for sharing time and space with me. And these are going to be monthly videos, so come back next month for February, back into this space. And until then, take care.